How's it going?
It is going well. It's been a fun week building out some fun stuff, and you've been working on a can of worms that we probably don't want to unlock. So we won't mention that. But yeah, dude, fun stuff. Building in FlutterFlow. I've been building in FlutterFlow this week, which is good. I enjoy that, and I think it'll be really fun for our users when we launch those features. Whenever we are launching those, I thought we were going to launch them this week, but we'll see. We'll see. You know.
Yes, I
But
agree.
yeah, beyond that,
Exciting ones, right?
yeah, totally.
Very
It's
exciting.
gonna be fun.
Nice.
So, Will, I loved your product design photos you sent
Yes.
on Twitter. You just not sent, but you posted on Twitter. That's what it
Thanks.
is. Andrew Kareem, thanks for joining, guys. Hope you're
Yes.
doing well. Andrew is
Usual.
cold. Yeah,
Usual
it's
cool.
cold up in Texas.
How
Down in
cool is
Texas.
it over there?
I mean, okay, when I say cold, I mean cold for Texas. All
60?
right.
Like
Yeah, like
60s?
60s.
60?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
okay.
hit
That's
40 this week. It hit
wow.
40
That's
this
how
week,
it is
and we were
right
like,
now. It
whoa.
just hit 40 in New York, and I was like, oh my gosh. It was 80 degrees last week. Crazy.
Yep. It's going to be
Crazy.
80 again this weekend. So I'm like, okay, whatever, dude. I thought winter was here, and it's
Yeah.
like winter is just flirting with us. It's like
Wow.
one of those
That's
dates,
crazy.
and then we're not going to hear back from it for a while. There's a lot of analogies there. We could just go off the deep end, but yeah. Well,
That's funny.
cool. Um, anything
Anything
cool that we should? Yeah, dude, that's for sure. Like they start canceling school and stuff. They're like, oh, below 50? Oh, we're canceling school. Like you don't have to come into work. Like I don't know. There's some rain out there. Who
That's
knows?
funny.
So yeah. Um, anything fun that we should, touch on or talk about during this? I was just going to continue um, our education app for
Yeah.
beginners. Building that out. I was like, man, this is taking forever. Like, what is taking so long? And then I was like, oh yeah, we're trying to go slow and for beginners. And so it's like sometimes you have to be
Yeah.
that
Gotta walk through
slow and
everything.
steady. Yeah, exactly.
Hmm.
For those that are joining the live, as Will is thinking about this, I want y'all to chime in. Do you think this is beneficial? Would you rather have us do something else? Because I know a lot of the people that join the live stream are actually like experienced builders. Like Kareem has multiple apps, Andrew has multiple apps, Carol and Daniel, are always there, and a lot of our builders from
Yeah.
even like Africa and South America also they're trying to be experts or trying to build apps for clients. So,
Mm-hmm. Nice.
but beyond that, anything you think about, Will? You have a brilliant mind, man. I want to unlock it.
I'm trying to think of any fun FlutterFlow related features. One thing I realized the other day with page view, I always had to like something that's very popular is a carousel, right?
Yeah.
And I think the only way you could do that was with page views and periodic timers, right? Because you would have to like next page. But now you can set the carousel widget, like max screen size, have it automated. It animates for you. You don't have to do anything there. That's a really nice like FlutterFlow feature. I think that would be
Yes.
interesting to showcase. Because I know that at least personally, I'm going to go back and replace a lot of different use cases where I use page views rather than a true like infinite scroll carousel. So I know that's pretty exciting for me, at least.
Yeah.
That could be fun to jump into. I'm trying to think of a few other things. If you're joining us live and you're using the Jiffy, however you say that.
For some reason, it's Jiffy. Although
Yeah.
it's graphical element, for some reason, the founder of that term, the creator of that term, said it was Jiffy. So I don't agree. But
So you're Giphy. Okay, I'm Jif. So I'm all right
yeah.
with that. If you are using that in your project, we are aware it's actually causing some issues. That's actually related to the package that we use. So that's pretty interesting too. I know we've showcased that in the past, but just keep a note. We're trying to figure out a solution to that. Although it it's kind of tough because we're facing like package dependency issues. So more
Yep.
waiting on the Giphy team or Jiffy team to
Yeah.
fix that. Dr. Anonymous, that's a good question.
Yeah.
Does
See that?
FlutterFlow fund startups using FlutterFlow? At this
What
point,
about that,
no.
Will?
At this point, no. We've talked about it internally. Just
Hey,
like yeah.
on that topic though, we have something. We're giving away $20,000. I mean, I know
True,
20,000 is
true.
like not a lot in a startup realm, but it's something.
That could get
You
your
know,
whole
it's
FlutterFlow app developed by an
yeah,
expert or whomever else. I'm gonna see
yeah,
if I'll find that tweet and post it in the.
yeah. We are sort of trying to encourage our users to build applications, real life applications. I think this one is a competition for just rebuilding a popular app in FlutterFlow. And there's 3 categories, 3 winners, actually 9 winners. First through third on 3 categories. So that is something. Yeah, and also 20K is something for like
Lot.
everywhere in the world. So it's going to be cool. Guys, thanks for chiming in. This is great feedback. A lot of the guys that join, we need more girls that join. So if you're a female in the chat, go ahead and chime in. We need to listen
True.
to a more balanced, audience. But yeah, want
Ooh.
more expert sessions. So I like this.
Okay, this is interesting. Inspire Sphere is wanting to know how to set up notifications for specific categories. I actually did that recently. You can do that. It
Yes.
does
Yeah.
require cloud functions if you want it automatic. Like,
Yeah.
what were you gonna say? Were you gonna? Is
Oh,
there a way to do it in app? I'm sure there is.
well, I mean, like I know how to filter, right? Like in the front end, you can
Oh,
filter
yeah.
notifications by different categories, right? And I was actually, I was working on that. I have something working right now, actually, that does
Nice.
this. I could showcase it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
um,
That'd be cool.
all right. So it's, I don't know if I'm supposed to. Oh, we'll see. I'll just try to keep it there. Okay. Let me move you guys over here. So again, this is just front end. This is not push notifications, but
Nice.
anytime you create some sort of categorical notification in the back end, you
Mhm.
can create a push notification as well to send out. So I'm guessing Inspire Sphere is
Mm.
talking about that. So let me go ahead and open
Nice.
this up. Oh, you know what? I'll just do the run mode because
Oh,
it's already up and running for now. And I think there's
nice.
13 hours ago. Okay, sorry. Let me share
Anthony,
my screen.
Anthony, we will answer that question right after this. It's a good question. There's
Yeah.
sometimes some users face issues around that, so we'll answer that right after this.
Yep. Okay. Oh, damn. Notification list. Sorry about that. Oh, good. Nobody was looking. All right. Cool. So we have this list of notifications here, and we have like different. This is basically a different type. Okay. So friend request. This is the person that followed you, but I have this set up in a way where this icon will change and this title will change based off the category of notification. And I'll show you that because I created a page here where we can create an activity. So activity type is your category, new comment, new post, friend request, all of these things. We'll do a new comment. We'll say, hey, new comment from Andy. This is really awesome live stream. I love you guys. Thank you. That was so nice of him. Okay, we'll just say we'll upload a screenshot. Let's see if I have some good ones here. Good old dribble shots. All right. All right, we'll see if all of this works. We'll just create our activity. I created an activity. Crap. What did I not do? Oh, you know what? I think I assigned it to you, and I need to assign it to me. That's what it is. Okay, because this is sorry, I'm trying to create this like a notification center where you can basically like create stuff and then see it and stuff like that. So I'll add myself as the user. Give me 1 second. I need to find out who I am. Well, I guess I'm Andrew D. So that's who I'll sign it to. Hey, love this man. Okay, we'll do our new comment. We'll assign it to Andrew D. And we'll create the activity. And then boom! Look at that new comment. We got a new icon. Again, the activity type here, which would be your category. And then like the love this man, blah, blah, blah. We have an image here. So yeah, we'll see.
That's awesome.
I wouldn't worry about this one too much. Inspire Sphere. We'll see how easy this is for you to implement in the future. But this is an idea.
That's awesome.
So yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, that's how I set it up. And I'll show. Sorry, give me a second to. Oh, sick. All right, give me a second to get to that notification page, and I'll show you how I set it up.
Gotcha. Inspire's mainly concerned about push notifications. Okay, push notifications, you could do a couple things. You could query a list, or like when you create a push notification within the push notification action, you can select the users it goes to. So you could query a list of users, right? And filter them by a specific case, right? Like we could filter all the users that are watching the live stream right now if they have a Boolean checked as true, right? And then just set that as the list of users we want to send the push notifications to.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yep. And then for that like activity type, obviously, you can just have what I have is. What is this? Blocking action. Oh. Hey, they didn't utilize my icon, but whatever.
New feature.
Yeah, new feature. Sneaky in there. So I have a type in here. So this type would be your category. So whenever you create activity, right? Like if you do a new comment on a thread or something, you could just make that type implicit. So this page sort of allows you to create multiple types. But if you're in a social app or let's say a ticket management app, right, you would automatically know the action the user is taking. So you can assign a category just with a string value. And then you could even, on the notifications page, on the notification list page, you could have choice chips up here where you could filter by type. You could filter your notifications by type as well. So lots of cool stuff you can do there. But that's just showcasing it. I know we're not going to do a deep dive explanation on it, but these are good questions. Yeah. These are the questions I want to get into.
What if a user doesn't want push notifications? Well, that would be device specific if they turn them off, or you could save settings within a user, right? So you could, again, filter by notifications enabled, Boolean is false or something.
Yep. And Inspire Sphere, we've actually done this in a live stream, so we won't go over it again. We'll link there. If you look live streams up, there's like a notification center, account settings, I think is in the title, something like that. So you can go and look at that.
Nice.
All right, cool. Yeah. Awesome. So, let's continue because like last session when I was building live, like there was a bunch of really good questions coming through, and I know Will he loves answering those things, but I would love to like answer and build or like answer in like if you guys are struggling with something, we would like to help. The point of the live stream is for sort of the experts and people that are building in FlutterFlow. So we'll change the title of this live stream after the live stream, but yeah.
One thing I do want to answer really quick, because I know I said we'd get to this. Anthony asked, I'm trying to set up Firebase phone auth. I don't get a code sent to my phone. Is this a current issue or something like that? Do you mind if I share my screen really quickly?
Yes,
I think that's something a lot of people face. They don't do the phone number testing. I've had that issue before to where here's an example project, right? I have phone auth enabled.
Here.
If you're doing this within, first off, make sure you're in the Blaze plan. That's a big one.
Yep.
The other thing is, if you're doing it in like test mode, make sure you can do phone numbers for testing here, right? So you could add your real phone number here and add a verification code like 12345 6, and then you won't get a code. You can just type in the verification code for testing, right? But yeah, I would say make sure this is enabled. Make sure you have the Blaze plan, and ideally you should be getting those texts. Obviously, just make a note about this too. Firebase
Yep.
recently changed their billing quota for SMS messages, where you'll need to upgrade if you're doing more than 3,000 a day. So hopefully,
Yep.
at least for testing, you can just add your test phone number, but make sure you're on the Blaze plan and make sure you're.
It does. I mean, it does work. I've tested it before,
Yeah,
like in an app. Super cool. It's so much fun too. Like, dude,
that
what
is.
a seamless experience. You know,
Yeah,
just like send it. You know, like get a verification code on your phone, have the little
big time.
iOS like suggestion come up, and boom, you know, you're good to go. So, gonna implement that in an app coming up too.
Nice.
Um, sweet. Let's see. What other kind of questions should we answer? Can we answer, or should we just start building? Because I was gonna. Let's see.
I mean, the FlutterFlow
Uh,
question is a good one, or Flutter. What does FlutterFlow hold for the coming years of sole FlutterFlow focused developers? Okay.
hmm.
At first, I read that as Flutter focused, so I thought this is going to be a deeper question. In terms of FlutterFlow, I mean, what do you think, Andrew? That's a great question.
I mean, I think our that is a good question. I don't know how I'm supposed to answer this in, in regards to everything, because like our focus is for everyone, right? Both
Yeah.
teams, enterprises, startups, and developers. So, I mean, I think we've done a very good job, and this is me just tooting the developers' horn, right? I think Abel and Alex and our development team has done an excellent job of listening to our community and then trying to build the features that are necessary. And then when our developers actually build in FlutterFlow, they find problems and you know and solutions to those problems that individual developers face, but also teams. So I think we're really focused on how teams and dev agencies and multiple people can work on a project together where
Hmm.
we're bringing that democratization, right? Like we're opening the doors to more than just the developers working on applications, in my opinion. That's a Andrew statement. It comes from 4.0, right? That we did say we were going to democratize development, so I think that's part of it, where we involve more of the people, because the product development cycle, and you guys know this as developers, right? You'll get handed this design, and half the design isn't possible to do in code. Or
Yeah.
if it is possible to do in code, it's like, homie, I'm going to spend 4 more days developing that thing just so that a designer can have this whatever, right? Because designers are, look, we're
We want the
dreamers.
dream.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. We want the dream, right? We want everything to be awesome. And we're like, go do it. And then the developer's like, no, that's stupid. I'm going to implement a basic tab bar. You know,
Yeah.
it's like, I don't need pictures behind each selected item. Uh, but little things like that, where now a designer can go in there and they can help you build that, you know, where you don't have to worry about the border radius of a button. You can have a designer help you with that. So I think that is part of
Yeah.
what FlutterFlow opens up, right? And sometimes, you know, if you're a single developer and you're like, that's annoying, I don't want that, then you can continue to develop in FlutterFlow for yourself, right? That's fine. And
Nice.
optimize and utilize the UI templates that we provide. My goal as a designer, right? And that the person that builds all the templates until Will starts helping me out. Come on, Will. Is to provide you guys with enough content and screens and flows that you can truly build like complex applications a lot easier and a lot faster. Where you guys can just like, you know, in the development world, Tailwind in web apps and SaaS products, right? Tailwind was like life changing for most developers. Like the product design value of most applications went through the roof because they were able to use Tailwind, which was a framework, and Bootstrap as well, right? It was a framework that already had all of these pre-designed elements out of the box where you don't have to. And FlutterFlow does that already with some of the widgets and stuff, but
Yeah.
even in a design system type of way where you could be like, I want a user card. Oh, okay, here I can use this user card. I want a list view of users. Oh, okay, I can just do that. Boom, it's automatically like hooked up and everything. So little things like that, I think will help developers where they don't have to do every granular task in code.
Yeah.
They can really batch some of these things and put them in their applications, and it'll be a little easier for them, and it'll be hopefully beautiful at the end of the day.
Nice. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that was said perfectly, Andrew. I like
Yeah.
that. Nice.
Okay. And then Duncan Meyer, he has this question.
Anchor tags. Anchor
Yeah.
tags.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anchor tags. So do you want to talk about that? Do you want me to?
Go for it. Yeah.
Yeah. So anchor tags are not available necessarily. We do have a couple of elements that you could do around that, right? Like we have page view, and you could just, if you wanted to, you could scroll to a specific page, right? You could, if you,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what you're building. We don't really suggest building websites in FlutterFlow, right?
Yeah.
Like marketing sites or anything. But if you needed something that, you could just sort of click on something and it scrolls to that section, you could use a page view. We also have like a scroll to within a list, but multiple lists.
Mm-hmm.
So you have that, but it's just like beginning of list, end of list. There's no way to like insert anchor tag. It can be interesting. I could see like a documentation page within a web application where you want to scroll to, or you want to have like a sidebar and the ability to scroll to stuff. So it'd be cool.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. So that's that. And then this is support for arrays inside of arrays using data types and dropdowns. Interesting.
Any support for
Yeah.
arrays inside of arrays using data types and dropdowns?
So like,
Can't you do that? Can you do a data type within a data type? With
I
a
mean,
map?
I would think so. I don't know if you can do it in dropdowns because you can't you'd have to do this custom. I
Oh,
think.
dropdown.
Yeah.
Okay, dropdowns are a little limited in my opinion right now because you're
Yeah.
only limited to if you do a dropdown label versus value, the value can only be a double, integer, or string. So for example, like I've had issues where I've wanted to showcase a doc, like I want the value to be a
Yep.
doc reference, but I want to
Yep.
showcase a value. So things like that, you maybe have to write like a custom function for, right? Like maybe within that map or the data type, you have like a value name and then the data type, and then you need to have a custom function which just maps the drop down value to whatever data type is listed there, right? So you could use a custom function for that.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Good question though.
Yeah. Yeah. Great question. All right. Somebody asked, "What are we building today?" Well, we haven't built anything yet. We're just answering questions. Trying to.
Honestly,
Will
good
had
question,
posted about.
right?
Yeah. We want these good questions. Like we
Yeah.
love doing this. Will wants to do office hours. That's what he wants to do. AMAs, baby. So I'm letting him vicariously live through this live stream.
That's awesome.
Cool. Okay, so here's a big one. Urban Nerds, right here. My client's API uses AWS Amplify, which requires OAuth authentication. Then I can acquire a token. Will this work in FF? Right? We do have a custom API authentication now.
We have custom OAuth is hard.
Yeah.
Like if you're talking about like the pop-up where you need to like pop up and log in, that would require custom code.
Okay.
There's not an
All right.
out-of-box solution right now for like
Yeah.
there's a bunch of examples of this. For example, if you wanted like Discord, right? Where like you need the pop-up to appear or log in with Google, right? Like obviously we have Google Auth as an out-of-box solution where that third-party like external window appears and you log in. But if you wanted to do that with a custom login, that requires custom code. There are
Yeah.
some PubDev packages for that though, and then I think you
Yep.
could store that, like Andrew said, right?
Yeah. As
The
the
API off. Yeah.
API auth. Yeah, and what that API auth does is it gives you access to the user document, right? Like the authenticated user collection. So, or
Oh,
yeah,
oh,
which is really
so
cool.
that's what he's looking for. Yeah, no pop-up
Yep.
UI. This is just access to backend API. Yeah, we have a
Sick.
custom auth option in the auth tab, so you can deal with all the auth. You could store that as an app state, persisted app state, and then encrypt the persisted app state value, so it's also secure in your application.
Hmm. Ahmad, I don't necessarily know how to respond to this, but thank you for joining. Ahmad is also somebody that joins
All
multiple
the time.
live streams. So yeah, all the time. So have you experienced problems with querying data recently?
Well, I'm confused by the last part. The query is normal, not specific filtering. So I don't know if he's just saying a general query. I don't know if he's using a list view or column.
Yeah. Yep.
I've noticed too, this was a big one actually, Andrew. This was
Hmm.
crazy. I found this out the other day. Debugging a project for someone, they had their loading indicator set at 500 pixels.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And so they had a list view that whenever they would scroll, the app would like bug out because everything that was loading in that list view was
Yep.
500 pixels and then would go back to like 20. So
Yep.
I would, it might be like something in regards to your loading
Alright.
indicators or something loading that's like
Yep.
glitching in the list view.
Yep. That's a good one to know, man. That's a really good one to know. It's like I wish we had some recommendations, for things like that. That'd be
Agreed.
interesting. Yeah, that'd
Agreed.
be like it would actually provide so much value to our users, right? Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be
For sure.
cool. Yeah. Um, Carol, thanks for joining, man. We're just answering questions, and we'll build something at some point in time. Yeah, much better when you
We have
answer
a search
questions.
in API section of the multiple APIs and API groups. I thought we have that.
Yeah, we should have API search.
Well, we are coming out with
Yeah. Oh, it's
search
in. No, it's an
ev-
app.
search
It's there.
everything. You can just search
Oh, oh
stuff.
yeah, 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 yeah.
So that might be valuable to you.
We
Searching
are.
everything
Yeah.
in the project.
Yep.
List
Um.
view. Potential of stream return type. Stream return type. I don't know if stream is a return type.
No, I don't think
That's a
so.
type of returning, like you can do that, Cortex. You can do the return stream return type. It requires custom code, but you just store everything as an app or page state. So Pooja from our team did that for a ChatGPT clone, where it would
Nice.
continuously update the app state value, and then obviously you could use that in your project.
Sick.
It's a great question,
The
Andrew.
Maniac HD. Can I use? Of course. Yes. 100%. Automatically. Yeah. Just watch all of our live streams. You can become an expert. So yes, you can do this. We have done this. Will and I do this. We are app developers now. We are full fledged. Engineers. We're just kidding. We're front end. But yeah, you can totally do this for potential customers. We do it for startups. My agency, Clever Design, they do. They just launched an app yesterday. Super fun.
Nice.
So yeah, it is a lot of fun to develop apps.
Any solution coming forward to fix the blank white screen before loading indicator when loading on web? Actually, we have some settings in the design settings of
Yeah.
FlutterFlow.
Yep.
Toggle on, disable for web, the preloading, and then you can set a preloading time to like 200 milliseconds and set
Yep.
the preloading color so it's not white. It would be whatever else. Do you want to show your screen?
Yeah. Yeah. We can do this. Here.
It's a good question. A lot of people have that
Yep.
problem. Right?
I have to find where it is though.
It's
Web
in
publishing. Right,
no, it's
where is
in
it?
app details or assets.
I
App
think it's
assets.
assets. Yeah, here it is. We don't even know because these are things we don't need to know every day. Every day. So yeah, right here you have the ability to
If
set
web's
a pre.
enabled.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, I don't think I have web
that's all
enabled
right.
here. Yeah, we'll do that. All right, so we can disable the preloading for web, but we can also set it right if we wanted like purple here. We wanted like our all background, let's say. Yep. And then you could have a minimum duration as well. If you had like a little loading GIF or something, you could have a minimum duration. But this would, it's all here in the app assets. So good question. This should
Um,
hopefully take care of that. And this preloading color and background color should take care of the white screen. So I think you did that in the FFDC landing page.
yes.
So, yep.
Nice. Dan, if there's a slow API call, is there an easy way to adjust the timeout of the function to wait minutes? Right now, we have a default timeout of API calls. Now, that might be something I'm pushing for personally, that we open up that timeout period. But keep in mind, you could just go into Firebase. Well, if you're writing Google Cloud functions in the function editor in FlutterFlow, you have a timeout option on the right side. You can
Yep.
choose however many milliseconds you want the timeout period to be.
And for those of you joining and then leaving and joining again, we're answering questions right now. We are not building anything quite yet. We'll probably change the title of this to
AMA.
questions. Yeah, AMA
There's actually a ton
on
of
the live
questions.
stream.
It's kind of
Yeah,
crazy.
there's a lot of really good questions. Ben, I just want to give you a shout out. Thank you so much. We agree. We
Yeah,
love that FlutterFlow gives us the ability to build complex apps, and it's not limited. It's not like most drag and drop builders are like, oh yeah, I'm giving up all of this functionality. Like I'm building something that was drag and dropped. No,
nice.
FlutterFlow like anything, everything. Like
Hmm.
we just developed an app that has like a custom audio player that plays on the home screen and like persists and all this stuff because you're able to do that. Like FlutterFlow doesn't give you that option, but you can use code to then build whatever you want on top of that, which I think is amazing. So
Hmm.
really glad. Thanks for joining, Ben.
Hmm. I knew you were
Can
gonna
of
do
worms. They're
I
crawling
knew
up.
you
They're crawling up.
Did you play that question, Andrew? Did you play?
I did it. I did it. I didn't do this. Uh,
Um,
Contra, right? Contra.
open a new. Okay, yeah. So Contra is. I don't know of any other platform using Contra except Framer actively.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
I'm wrong for that. I know they did a big partnership with Contra. Um, after the new update with the Flutterflow Experts program, yeah,
Sorry.
we're working on
I'll leave this up.
obviously expanding the experts program. We just launched it internally for experts to reapply. So there's going to be a lot more to that. It's going to be
Yep.
pretty robust.
Yep.
Yeah.
Also, a note when you're filling out your application,
Mm,
please fill out the entire application. Just because you were an expert in the last program, our
yeah.
we had like 80 applicants, I think, in the last time we did experts
Yeah. Like
almost 2
2
years
years ago.
ago. Yeah. Um,
Oh,
we now have like 600 applicants.
wow.
So, right? Is that or
Yeah, we had over 600 applications for
yeah.
the experts
So
program. So we're
so
taking it
there's
very seriously.
we're taking it very seriously on vetting those. So if you don't if you don't make your application as robust as possible and show
Mhm.
us that you really are an expert, you won't be listed. Just so you guys know,
Yeah.
we've had this internal talk and we love helping everybody out, but we need that expert program to be full of experts. So when somebody comes to you with a question, you can answer it. That's what this live stream is about too. We want to help you guys become experts.
Yeah.
But just a note: if you fill out that application and you leave it half blank, you will be rejected. So
Nice.
you heard it here first. I
Nice.
don't mind being the bad guy.
That was a great
Yeah,
comment. Yeah. No,
yeah.
that's good to know.
All right,
There are
Daniel's
tables.
turn.
What's Daniel talking about? Daniel, there are
Yeah,
tables. The data table.
but I know. I agree with you, Daniel. Daniel, get all of your friends, request this feature request. All right, simple tables. Ask for pagination. Ask for pagination in those tables. Ask for sorting in those tables. Just let them know. I think we are actually implementing sorting within data table. So we do have a data table element, Daniel. You can basically drag and drop it in there. You can create columns. You can do certain things. So we do have like the basic structure of tables. But if you're building robust web applications, then you probably want a little bit more in a table, just if I had to be honest. So just request this and provide examples. So cool.
There's a question that I would love your response to.
Yeah.
Actually, I saw there was a workshop at FlutterFlow Duolingo. I don't know about a Duolingo game, but I'll look into that. But the question about this is a very interesting question, Andrew. I would love your thoughts on this. I responded back, "That's a trick question," in
Yeah.
the comments. However, I would love your response coming from a design agency background that you have.
Yep.
What are your thoughts on this? Just given like the no code space, the low code space, app development, design, etc.
Yep. So, man, this is such a nuanced question, Maniac HD. It is a nuanced question because FlutterFlow provides you the ability to create apps faster without losing the quality of a custom built application, right? So, truly, what you charge a client is based off of the value that application brings that client. Okay. So, a traditional app development, I just heard about this story of a startup. They had a quote for their application from a traditional dev agency. It was 200 grand, okay, to build out this robust application, social engagement application with trivia and stuff like that. 200 grand. So you can do most of that stuff in FlutterFlow, right? So how long would it take you to do in FlutterFlow? Like that was like a 8 month project in traditional code or
Mm,
a year project in traditional code. Well, FlutterFlow gives you the ability to sort of optimize that down where you can build all the UI pretty quick. You can implement all that stuff. So what value does that bring the client? Well, some of you would be like, oh, well, I can do 100 grand. Well, maybe, maybe not. Like provide value to your clients, whatever. Man, this is a big one too. Like I'm
yeah.
like, oh, charge more. Like I don't want to just build 3 and 4 grand apps in FlutterFlow. Like I want everybody to build
Mhm.
amazing applications for what they're worth. But you have to provide value. If you don't provide value as a builder in the
Mhm.
finished product, it doesn't matter how long it took you. It doesn't matter what, you have to provide that value. So if you want to get to the place where you can charge 20 and 30 and 40 grand for an application, which is possible, you have to first build that portfolio of projects,
Yeah.
showcasing that you can do that. Not just being like, oh, I can do that. Yeah, okay. You get halfway through the project and you fail. And then your client has a bad experience. You have
Yeah.
a terrible experience because you don't get paid. So really it's up
Mhm.
to you what you charge, but provide value, get better at FlutterFlow, get better at development is what I would say. And
Yeah.
I say that with like, I want everybody to be successful no matter where you're at in the world. Like this is a key. I love FlutterFlow. We get comments all the time. Paulo from Brazil, he's like, dude, FlutterFlow has changed my life and changed the
Mhm.
lives of so many developers in South America because we are now able to develop these robust applications and make this much more. So again, are you providing value to your client, to your stakeholders? Does the finished product provide value to the end users? Yes. All of those things are possible in FlutterFlow. So
Yeah.
it just depends on how much you provide, right? Like, can you
Mhm.
do the things that you need to do in order to deliver an amazing product? So yeah,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
wouldn't charge less, but I would be. I would
Mhm.
make sure that what you're charging is the value that you provide and not just this idea that you're like, oh, I can charge this. It's
Yeah.
like, okay, but provide the value first. So that's a long answer, I know, but it's near and dear to my heart, and I want everybody to be successful. I just hate the development process, like traditional. I've worked on
Mhm.
over 100 projects, and so many of those projects we've designed these beautiful experiences, and we get into developing those experiences, and there's just a steep drop off. And sometimes the client runs out of money. Sometimes
Mhm.
the product evolves too much in the development, or the development team is not able to implement what they need to implement. They got in over their heads because they saw this big contract. So there's so
Yeah.
many like fallacies in that cycle. We want to be able to help users, clients, stakeholders, companies, builders, startups actually launch their products.
Yeah.
So, I want you guys to make money. I want startups and, uh, yeah, anybody, any company that comes to build on FlutterFlow to optimize their development cycle so they actually save money, right? Like that's really the key. It's like when a company starts building on FlutterFlow, well, instead of taking a year to develop a product and have 10 developers on it, you can have 4 developers on it and it can take 6 months. You know,
Mhm.
that's a huge benefit to those
Yeah.
companies because they're saving that much money. And nobody's that extra 6 months was just people, doing stuff they hated to do. So take out that and allow you guys to sort of innovate in different ways. So
Hmm.
sorry again,
I think
long
there's
answer.
like no, I think that's good. I think there's 2 things that I've seen personally that I think stood out in what you said. The big one is like people think, oh, because it takes less time, I shouldn't charge as much due to the hourly rate. But it's almost the wrong frame of reference in regards to
Yeah.
like how you should be pricing, right? Because exactly what Andrew said, like if it's going to take a year and you can put together a similar product, yes, you might be thinking to yourself, oh, but I'm not super technical. I'm not a senior developer. Like that is okay if you
Yep.
can add value and come up with a similar product in half the amount of time, right? A lot of these people like they're just looking for an application that functions entirely, right? They're not like they it doesn't need to be the most perfectly optimized syntax perfect like every line commented out. The other one too, Andrew, I think this is something you and I are really good at personally, not to
Yep.
like pat ourselves on the back, but I think from a low code and no code space perspective, you have to be very, very, very creative and intuitive
Yep.
in how you build apps because, yes, like we all know that there is a limit to low code, right?
Yep.
In the sense of like if you're not a developer, right?
Yeah.
Like
Exactly. Exactly.
Andrew and I get to a point in projects where we're like, we can't go any further, right? Like we
Yep.
would have to implement custom code. And so I think there's sometimes apps out there that people request or things like that too, that might sound impossible, or you're like, you know what, like I can't build this app because it's not possible with
Yep.
my technical abilities. But there's so many ways to get around that. Like I had someone ask me the other day, could I do a live photo syncing like Google Photos? And I'm like, I don't know, like, I don't know if you Flutterflow could do that. Like, maybe, right,
Yeah.
with custom
Yep.
code, but that's a pretty complex thing to do, right? Like,
Yep.
live sync photo backup. So then, again, like, being creative, I'm like, "Okay, instead, why don't you do push notifications to the user every X number of days, and you can use the multiple photo upload option, right? Or you could do something in the back end that says, "Oh, we noticed you haven't uploaded your photos, backed up your photos in the past 7 days," and it sends them a push notification. Like, get creative because
Yep.
at the end of the day, just because they didn't have the live photo sync doesn't mean the application doesn't work and you can't build it, right? Like, get creative with
Yep.
how you implement. I think that's really important too. Like Andrew, I've
Yeah.
seen you do that in a lot of different ways. And it's again, it's just like how can you be creative to still get the job done and create a positive user experience?
Yep. Yeah. And realize that like that problem solving, ability, it happens in code too. Like when
Exactly.
I'm always scared. I'm like, I was showing Alex, Alex, the CTO, like the god of developers, and I was showing him like how I built something. He was like, you built this in FlutterFlow? He was impressed. I was like, ah, he's he's surprised we could build this in FlutterFlow. Oh my gosh, yes! Like my life is complete. Um, and I was like, well, I sort of did this. Like I used a page state in order to load like a user reference, and then I added that to a user list and things like that. And he was like, oh, I mean that's hacky, but it works. And I was like, oh yeah, like I have to realize like developers do that too. They
Yeah.
figure out solutions, and maybe it's not the best solution, but it's a solution that works, and therefore like that's a good solution. If the
Yeah.
solution works, like it's a good solution. There could be better ones, and you have to be open to that. But
Sure.
yeah, I think that's the important thing is knowing that we can solve problems, and it doesn't have to be the best solution, but if it's a solution that works, and then you can improve it in the future, having that
Mhm.
ability in FlutterFlow is amazing. Like I can now go back and fix all the problems that I had before. And it's always fun to learn about those things. Yeah. Cortex, just want to give you a shout out. This is awesome, man. This is like incredible, right? Like saving your company 50K a year in fees,
Yeah.
being able to build everything in FlutterFlow. Like, what a sick opportunity. That's huge. So,
Yeah, that is huge. Nice.
yep.
There's one question about push notifications, the count of unread push notifications. Andrew
Mm,
covered that in a previous live stream. It was a really great, like in-depth push notification live stream, right? How to show those on a page, how to query those, show the badge if it's there or not. So I would
Yep.
go back and look at previous live
Yep.
stream.
Yeah. Jason, and man, anchor tags are a popular one today. Jason, we sort of answered this earlier in the stream. I don't know if you're around. There's not necessarily a way to do anchor tags currently. You can do page view, and you can scroll to a page view index. That's one way. We do have scroll to end and beginning of lists. That's another way. But if you do the page view, that's a parameter in the URL. So, like if you're in a web app, that's a parameter
Mhm.
in the URL. So you could that's that's essentially an anchor tag. It's just again, it's a hacky way. It's not like ideal, but it probably works. So okay. This is all great, guys. Thanks so much for answering the
Yeah.
questions. Noah says mentorship program, coaching, real
We
time
thought
questions for an
about
expert.
that as well. We thought about we're potentially well, we are exploring the idea of like Flutterflow coaches because I think, personally speaking, I think experts in my mind are a little
Yep.
different than coaches, right?
Yep.
Or like a boot camp, right? I wouldn't go to like, no offense to Andrew, but like if Andrew was running an agency and I was just starting with Flutterflow, my first thought probably wouldn't be like, let me go to this
Yeah.
design and development agency because I want to learn hourly how to build in Flutterflow, right? Like
Yep.
you probably want sort of like one-on-one coaching or a relationship there. Um, so that will allow, I think, some Flutterflow power users, maybe some that are even in the chat here, to be paid hourly to coach other people through Flutterflow and empower them too.
I'm just gonna tweet this quote. Sorry, this is great. I love it, dude. Cortex, you're right.
Said
I
that to
love that.
Abhishek very quickly.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. We agree with you.
Yeah,
Our enterprise team agrees with you. It's amazing.
flag on that one.
All right. Yeah. Thanks. Um. Cool.
Nice.
Yes. Yeah. Coaching. That's exactly right. Right. Like, and hopefully the expert program will be there. So, like earlier, you were talking about how we sort of get into building an application, and then we hit sort of this dead spot, where it's like, oh, I can't really continue. The ideal expert community in my mind is that when you hit that dead spot, you can reach out to a coach or a developer or somewhere like that and be like, hey, could you help me with this project for this thing? You help, and then you get paid, and then you go back and do your life. So like we have this community of people where nobody will be blocked anymore because we have these true experts that are able to help with these things. So in my mind, that's like the ideal solution, so that nobody's blocked. Like I just spoke with somebody. They're a startup in the mental health space, and they got blocked. Right, they're trying to build out this. Um, they're trying to build out an application on FlutterFlow, and they just got blocked in a certain place. And I was like, oh, this is so easy. Like it is so easy, but only because I know how to do that. So I sat down with them for the 20 minutes and I showed them this is how we do it. This is a live stream where we actually go through how to do this.
Nice.
You can watch this live stream and just like implement it. It's a little specific use case, so like they would have to do some more, but I just showed them how they could do that, and then they can be unblocked. That's the idea. I think that's awesome. So, yeah.
How do I get my startup noticed? We have a showcase. Don't we have a
Tweet about it.
submission tab? I can try to, or it's a YouTube video. It goes to a YouTube now, but there was a form on our website to send in your FlutterFlow project, what you're working on.
Yep. Just tweet and tag, tweet and twag, twag the FlutterFlow team. Tweet a wood. Sorry guys, speech impediment.
Noah, Fiverr. Definitely Fiverr can be a questionable place. Again, ideally that's why we're relaunching the experts program to really set this the standard, because a lot of people again claim they're FlutterFlow experts. Unfortunately, a lot of people can just claim different things online. So would encourage you to vet those experts properly. If you have any questions, feel free to always reach out to the FlutterFlow team. We're happy to do our best to vet them too.
Yeah, exactly. Do some of that rhythmic music. Recommend agencies. We won't do that because there's some excellent agencies on the current platform, on the current experts platform. You can go there. You can also just reach out to the community. It depends on how big your project is and where you want your agency from, how much you have to spend, etc. So, yep, there's some good agencies on there. Good agencies.
Nice.
So,
the question about PDF and Excel or CSV exporting, that requires custom code. I've written a cloud function for it before. It's not too challenging. It's just hard because from a FlutterFlow perspective, it's very like how would how do we define the form of what's exported in the PDF, right? Or from a CSV export, like how do we within FlutterFlow, we'd have to build like a table editor, right? Where it's like add your header, like it's kind of a more challenging problem than just CSV export. So yeah, that would be, you can ask GPT about that too, to write some custom code in your cloud function. It's actually, again, not as challenging as you think if you wrote custom code for it.
Yep. I think that Jorge Cincodio, and it may be in Spanish, but I think he did a tutorial on this.
Nice.
Both for exporting a CSV and then exporting a PDF, a custom PDF. Nice. Which is pretty cool. Like those are two things that are very nice, and we did this. This is another thing that we just did an enterprise blog post on like new swag stuff. I know that I just love balloons.
Come up with the balloons.
Dude, I have no clue like how it happens. Like I'll be sitting in a Zoom and I'll just have balloons.
Thumbs up. If I do a thumbs up,
maybe
no, it doesn't do anything.
No, I know.
Weird. I don't know.
It's like waving in my hands. I don't know. But I think in that blog post and maybe even a YouTube video that we go over it, they have to do this. So they save it out as a PDF with like custom information, and they send it to a printer and they print out an NFC card. That is awesome. Like that whole enterprise like application built in FlutterFlow is incredible. So Ailey, Cody, you guys did amazing.
Yeah. So big time.
Yeah. Andrew Andrew, you should have came to a FFDC, and then you would have seen it in action. So don't worry, I have some extra swag. Dude, I totally lost my card.
I never got one. I forgot I was too in the moment.
Bro, you put it on. You put on the whole thing. Moment.
Too focused.
Yeah, you were. Yeah.
Next conference, right?
Yes. Yeah. Maybe for Hackathon, I'll ask if I really
Mm,
want that card, but
yeah, that's for another. Trying to see if there's any other questions. There was one about any plan to support Supabase type row for an app state. Uh, That's in my mind. I don't work with Supabase super often, but in
yeah.
my mind, that would be like asking if you could save a document in app state, which I don't think is possible, right? Like we
Mm,
can't, like you wouldn't save a whole row. You would save it as a data type, and then you would assign the data type to specific fields within the row, I think. Um,
yeah.
I don't know if that question makes a ton of sense. At least in my mind, maybe I'm misunderstanding the question there.
Do you wanna highlight it? I couldn't find it in the chat.
Yeah.
Um, okay. Type row.
Right. So like that would technically be like a document in Firebase. So
Yeah.
I don't think like right now we have no app state
I
options for documents. Like saving an entire document.
I think we can. I think
Hmm.
so.
Uh-oh. Maybe
Uh,
I misspoke there. So
yeah.
I apologize if I did. I'm gonna check on that just to verify.
Yeah, for Superbase real time though, no way. We don't have Superbase real
Yeah.
time. So, we do I mean, hey guys, again,
No,
we know that
we have document reference, but we don't
okay,
have
documents.
document.
Yep. Um, request more Superbase. Request more Superbase. We do read those like user requests. Okay. So like when you submit a feature request, we do read those things. So everybody on this live stream, if you want more Supabase integration, real-time database, Google Apple Auth,
Mm,
anything and everything, go request it right now. Send like 20 or 30. There's 40 people. So if 20 of you go do that, our developers will see it. Our team will see it. So
yep.
um, and hopefully they just won't watch the live stream and know that I planted that. So, but yeah, AppState, we do have some fun stuff coming that will help you guys build a little better,
Big time.
build different.
What is
So
the official launch date of the new FlutterFlow Experts program?
yeah,
Uh,
Carol, you totally missed it, so we can't tell you. Yeah, it was already said.
yeah.
Never, but we never said it. But I don't know if we will.
In the
Go ahead, Will.
future, it's coming. No, we
Uh,
actually we don't have a set date because we're actually waiting until we feel confident that we have a strong pool of experts approved that have high quality profiles. So we opened
yes.
up applications 2 days ago for the new program. So we're waiting for those to go through. Ideally, like mid next week, though, is my kind of goal. I'm going through applications right now alongside some other members of the team. Of course, we want to eliminate any like bias as well from the
Yep.
program. So that's also going back to what Andrew said. It's
Yep.
like we don't fill out the form with the expectation that the FlutterFlow team like knows you because again, we're all it's an unbiased review.
Yep.
So if you're not filling out your your application much because you just think that we like are familiar with you or things like that, or Andrew and I specifically, that's not the case. You're going to be denied. You can always reapply. I'll make that clear. It's not like oh you've been denied. Like too bad. So
Yeah.
a note there too.
Yeah. Somebody asked how do you leave feedback. So in the builder, you just do this help menu, go back here to feedback, and you can submit a feature request right here. So, and we get that. We have general feedback. You can tell us how awesome we are, and then just keep it positive here. We're very sensitive. I'm just kidding. I'm very sensitive, but yeah, feature request. Just ask for more. That comes to a Slack channel, so we see that. Yeah, that's how you do it. Let's
Nice.
see. Service
How would
request.
you
Good question.
practice
Yeah.
to get better at learning how to connect to backend functions? Is this like API calls? Is this Flutter or Firebase? What do you think?
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. Like, is it Firestore, Firebase? Like, what type of Noah? Give us some clarification here.
Yeah. There have been crazy questions. There are really good questions in here,
Yeah.
actually. This is crazy.
Yeah. And I love this, Andrew responding. Like, you don't have to just use one
Right.
backend. You could use like it just because you use Supabase doesn't mean you can't use Firebase for push notifications or something,
Yep.
or you know. you can do different things. So
Nice. This is a great one. You can always tweet at Andrew. I wish you had that handle or at Will. No, um,
oh yeah,
you
my handle is so weird.
at Andrew. No, you'll have to look us up on Twitter.
Yeah.
But you can always tweet at us, email us, tag us in the community. We'll do our best. That's what most of these live streams are, right, Andrew?
Yeah.
You want to speak
Yeah,
towards that?
totally. Yep. Yeah. And Inspired Fear, like this is typically the place where we want you to learn. So this live stream is different, but only because we had a lot of good questions last week and we wanted to answer more good questions from y'all. And also just get a feel on what you guys want us to learn. So somebody had said like, oh, why don't you field questions during the week? Anytime you want us to build something during the live stream, tweet at us. Okay. If like we've done multiple things where we build something because I've gotten a question about it 3 times in a week. So yeah, if there's something, we do focus on UI UX mostly, and then light backend stuff. So like how to integrate with Firebase. We don't do a lot of Supabase right now, just because we don't have time to dive into it.
Mhm.
But I've also reached out to some backend tools to maybe do a showcase. I need to confirm that that's okay with the support seniority, but
Hmm. Hybrid auth. Yeah, you can't do double auth, to my knowledge. I don't know how you.
Mm,
Yeah, we only have one auth option.
yes.
So good call out.
Cool.
Nice. Well,
Awesome.
anything else you want to mention, Andrew?
It was our birthday this week. We tweeted that, so no secret. 3 years old. Really fun. We are on a good trajectory to 1 million users by the end of the year. I think that's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
Like that's rad, man, it's such a blessing. So yeah, thanks for joining. Thanks. And again, question and answer. We will continue building next week. But if you guys have ideas, right? Multiple people on this said, I want some more expert stuff. So
Mhm.
tell us what you want to learn. We don't have to do this beginner stuff, right? There are some really good tutorials now. I just saw like 3 pop up FlutterFlow for beginners tutorials, like,
Hmm.
oh man, Design Pixel. Steve, one of our ambassadors, he does some really good stuff. Digital Pro, the Digital Pro. Yeah, he's doing some awesome stuff. There's another, we just included like a FlutterFlow for beginners course in one of our emails. So
Nice. And one more thing, though. One thing that I would encourage you all to do is just check out other YouTube videos. This week we
Yep.
had 96. We check weekly how many YouTube videos are created about FlutterFlow or mention FlutterFlow. We had 96 YouTube videos across many different languages. So no matter where you are, what language you speak, FlutterFlow is there for you. And there's hundreds of videos being published every week, every 2 weeks about the platform. So definitely
Yep.
check those out.
Yep. And yeah, cron jobs and scheduled jobs. This requires sort of a back end, right? If I'm not mistaken. So look
Yep.
into tools. There's FastGen, there's BuildShip, there's
Mhm.
Supabase, there's Xano. You can do all of this stuff with other tools.
Yep.
So we're not trying to lock you into our platform. We want you, I think other no code builders sort of do this stuff for you, but then it's like you're stuck. You can never leave that platform. So you can use other tools to do this. But awesome, dude! An hour straight of talking and no building. Okay, cool. Hopefully this will be beneficial for those watching later. I'm gonna have to change the name, but thank you guys for joining. This was great. This
Yeah.
is what it's for. So we'll continue
Nice.
building next week. Let us know what you want to see, and then
Okay.
hopefully between now and then we've released those awesome features that we're going to release. I'll let them be a surprise. So
Great.
yeah.
Thanks,
So
everybody.
yeah, thanks for asking questions and joining. Cool.